Hi everyone. I'm just trying to find everything on the iPad so I can read all the comments. Nothing's loading at the moment. Right. Ah, there we go. Hopefully I've got the sound down. Right, there. Ooh, let's move that a bit closer. Seems to be so far away today. Right, hello. Hopefully a few of you can join me today. I know there's a few people that have said they won't be able to join. But yeah, I think I've got 3 there already, which is great. Yeah, so I don't quite know what card. I think I'm probably going to go with this one. I couldn't make my mind up. Yesterday I decided that I was going to do this one here. But I'm more drawn towards this one because it's not, this one's a bit too similar, I think, to last week's live. Hi Caroline. So yeah, I think I'm going to go for this, but I thought I'd show you this one just as a, it's not quite finished because I haven't finished the Dragonfly. I was just playing about and just, you know, seeing what I was going to do today. But yeah, I feel like I'm more drawn towards this one. I'm very much into these like collage style cards at the moment. Yeah, I love doing them, you know, just kind of throwing a ton of stamps at them and just having fun. Hi Jill, I hope you're all okay. And it's nice and warm here, so I hope it's the same for wherever you are. It's actually so nice today that I've got some washing out on the line, which makes a real change. It's so nice to be able to stick it out on the line rather than having it hung all around the house. Hi Stephanie, hi Diane, hi Jean, hi Sue, sitting watching in the sun with jam tarts. Oh, how lovely. Yeah, it's really lovely today, isn't it? It's so nice and warm. I've got a feeling I might have to open my doors halfway through the live because I've had to close my door between the kitchen and my conservatory just because I don't really want the dog coming in, because if somebody did knock at the door, she makes a lot of noise. So I didn't want her interrupting the live. But now I've shut that door, it's getting very stuffy. So I might actually have to open the garden door in a moment to let some air in. We'll see how we go. I've shut the blinds, so the sun's not an issue at the moment. But yeah, we shall see. Love collage. Yeah, I'm really into the whole collage-y, like stamp collage type style at the moment. I just love, as I said, I love throwing stamps. Yeah, so I did play about with this one yesterday, which is very much similar to last week's live that I did with the bird. But obviously this time I was sort of working from the left hand side, which is what I tend to go for. As I said, this one isn't complete. I was just sort of playing to see how I liked things. But yeah, this morning I sort of done this card, and I feel like I don't know what you think, but I feel like I'd prefer to demo this one today. I don't know if you're all happy, unless you'd prefer me to do the other one. I'm happy to do that. I've got the stuff out to do both. Obviously there's not time to do both, so it will just be one or the other. Hi Lucy. Anyway, where's some card? I did have that ready. Yeah, I have got some card ready. Right, don't forget, all the stamps are 50% off. All the stamps that I'm using today, I did look last night and they were all in stock. Everything except the sentiments. But I believe, yeah, I'm pretty sure everything else was in stock. Obviously, I apologise if it's not. Things are selling out pretty quick. But yeah, do get on the website. Everything's 50% off using the code, or what was it, half price, I think it was. I keep forgetting this one because obviously there was one before that was slightly less, but yeah, this one is half price. And I said everything that I'm using in this one should be for sale still on the website. Hi Mum. Everything except the sentiments. So yeah, I'm gonna pop that. So I'm gonna pop that sentiment over there because I'm rather than, and the dragonflies actually, because I'm not going to cut all them back out. Otherwise it's just going to get a bit too much. Right, so yeah, I'm going to go for the green card. And for these I'm using, these are actually my, oh I didn't use tea dye, don't know why I've got that out. These are actually my favourite combo of colours. Probably not colours you'd think necessarily to use together. Hi Sue. I've used these quite a lot in the past. I think I've done quite a few lives using this collection. I think I'd done it recently on, what was it? I used it on Pablo Penguin, I think, and what was the other one? It was one of the newer birds. Can't remember what they're called now, but I used them on that one. So yeah, I'm using them again today. So I'm going to start with my cracked pistachio. If you have time, would like to see how you've done the diamond pattern on the first card. The diamond pattern, what this one, I'm using the diamonds on this card as well, so I can show you how I've done it. But I mean, if you really want, I could do a quick YouTube video on this card and pop that up, because it doesn't actually take too long to do. But yeah, I just thought for today I'll do this one, but I am using the little diamonds on this one as well. But yeah, as I said, I can do a YouTube video on that. I just thought it was a bit too similar to last week's live, but I'll see if I can record something over the next few days. Hi Nikki. Right, so I'm starting with some cracked pistachio, and I'm just going to smooch it on my mat. I will actually say as well, because I have already prepared some circles, because while I'm doing the smooching technique, I am going to pull them in and sort of do similar things rather than wasting the ink. So I've cut out 3 circles here. I'm not sure what brand the dye is because I haven't got packaging for it, but they're just circle dies. So just 3 different sizes, obviously making sure they'll all fit on your card how you want them to. So I'm just going to pop them up there because I will be using them in just a minute. And I'm just going to give this a spritz, and I'm going to pick some ink up. There we go. I'm just going to lay that to the side for the moment, and I'm just going to go in with my circles. Might just give that another spritz. So I'm going to dab my circles in just so I'm not sort of wasting that ink. There we go. Right, hi Julia. Let's just get rid of that. Right, I'm now going to just dry this off with the heat gun. Now, I actually really like the smooching technique with oxides. I don't know if you can see it very clearly on this, but the whole point of oxides is when you mix it with water, it does oxidize. And when you do that, you actually get, certainly in this cracked pistachio, you actually get some yellow tones showing through. I don't know if you can you can perhaps just about see it there. But yeah, I really love the different tones that come through. Now, I'm not too worried because there's areas there that I haven't covered. I'm not too worried about that. I am going to add some more colours in just a moment. I'm just going to dry these circles off. I have my rubber mat down today, so it doesn't matter too much if I'm doing it on the mat. There, that dry. So I'm going to pop them to the side and bring out my piece of card again. Now, I did have some cellophane Lots of shading visible. Yeah, it's great actually with the oxides, the different colours that you get. And that's just from one pickup. Obviously you can darken this up if you wanted to by smooching it again. I'm not going to this time. It is multicoloured. Awesome. I didn't realise that with oxides. Yeah, they go. So the whole point of oxides is that they're different to like the inks. I should have actually written all this down because I always find it really hard explaining the difference. But the inks, obviously, if you do it with water, they kind of stay the same. The oxides do actually oxidize, and they do go different tones. Some more than others, I believe. What was it I was just going to look for? Oh yeah, cellophane. Where's that gone? There we go. So I've got my cellophane. I used this technique last week because I want to sort of control where I'm going with the ink. I'm going to apply it with some cellophane. So I'm just going to dab a little bit of brown on my mat and again spritz it with water. And I'm going to scrunch up my cellophane. Now this was just, I think it was a stamp wrapper that I've cut up and used because I always repackage most of my stamps. Actually, I want to add a bit more water to that. That's a bit too intense. That's a bit better. And I'm just going to go in and just randomly apply some of this brown. Oh, this was gathered twigs, this brown. Just going to fill in some of those areas. It doesn't matter if there are white spaces. I quite like that when there's like, you know, a collage going on. Right, I think I'll leave it like that. I'm just going to wipe that off. Lots of shading visible. 3. I'm not sure what you mean by 3, Julia. Right. Yeah, I'm just going to dry this off now. Pick it up because it does actually dry a little bit quicker when it's picked up. And it's got some airflow underneath it. If you find that you have a few pools of ink, what you can just do is dab that off with some kitchen roll. I don't know if I have got some kitchen roll. Let me just grab some. Otherwise it's going to take forever for that to dry. And you can see there as well, there are actually different shades of brown in that as well. So I'm making sure this is fully dry because I'm going to go and stencil through. You do need to make sure it's fully dry. There we go. Right, I'll pop that. Sorry, I pressed it by mistake. Not to worry. I did wonder. Right, I'm now going to grab my peeled paint and the stencils. Now, do you know what? I can't remember what these stencils are called. I'm really sorry. I should know. But they were on the website again when I last looked. Yeah, and again, they are half price, so it is such a bargain. Yeah, definitely grab your hands on them while you can. So I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna go too intense with this, just because I don't want too much pattern. It's just to create a little bit of texture in the background. So I'm starting at the top, and then I will be able to sort of move the stencil down a little. I don't know if you can hear, my noisy pigeons have just turned up. They always seem to turn up right during the live. I did remember to feed them today, so they're not out there cooing because they've not got any food. They have actually been fed today. So So I'm just moving it down. Now this is quite handy, this, because although it's not a massive stencil, you know, you can just move it across the page just to, and there's nothing to sort of line up. So it is quite easy if you do, you know, if you find that it doesn't cover your whole working space, just move it down a little. Right, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to clean that off a little bit. I have a very bad habit of popping that away and not cleaning it. Right, now I'm just going to go for it with the inks. I'm using VersaFine Clair, not the inks, I mean the stamps, sorry. So, let me find that Harlequin. Right, so I'm starting off with the Harlequin stamp. Now, I think I spoke before about there's different ways that you can, if you know, 'cause you know, you haven't got to use the whole stamp. I'm just trying to stick it on straight so that I then know that I'm stamping it straight. Yeah, so you don't have to use, the stencil is Pebbles, Ripples and Bubbles. That's the one. Thank you, Caroline. And it comes up as in stock. Yeah, I did think it was in stock. I did check it, as I said, yesterday. Everything I checked was in stock yesterday. Hopefully it all still is now. Right, so you don't have to use the whole of this stamp. I'm not even sure which way up it is, but I'm not too worried about that. I think it's actually, is it that way? I don't know. I'm going to just go with it for that way. Now, there's two ways you can do this. You can either, because I only want one strip, you can either just very carefully ink up the one strip, but I will show you another way. So you can just use masking tape. I can show you both ways. So just use a strip of masking tape. So this is what I've done on the other card as well, with the diamonds. So I'm just pushing it in just on this side. I'm not too worried about this side here. So, and then I'm just inking this up. Should really avoid doing it right over the card because I'll end up with ink everywhere. Right, now when you pull this off, try and pull it sort of reel back on itself. I don't know if you can see this. So I'm not just lifting it up and pulling it. I'm pulling it right back. This is just so that it doesn't pull the stamp off the block. And I'm just going to pop that straight in the bin because otherwise I'll end up with ink everywhere. And I'm going to stamp it. Oh, I've got a bristle there from the brushes. I'll get rid of that. So I think I'll go about there. Like that. And I'll show you the other way that because it's just one strip, I'm just going to go in with the ink. Now I'm trying to be very careful not to ink the second layer of diamonds up. I don't think I told you the number of this stamp, did I? This is CI 171. So yeah, that's how I often do it if it's just one strip. But I said you can do it with either that way or with the masking tape, whichever way you prefer really. I think we'll go about there. There we go. Now I have gone over slightly, but I'm not too worried about that. I think some of that is actually going to be covered up anyway. Right. Let's grab, see, this is now where you just kind of throw a ton of different stamps at it. So I'm going to go for the postage marks first, and again I used these last week and I believe these are still at a reduced price. I did have it written down on a piece of paper, but who knows where that's gone. So yeah, Jean kindly reduced these, and you can still get the half price on it. I believe, is that offer still up, Jean? I mean, that is a crazy price, because I think it was these ones that you get for about £2 something. I might have that wrong. they might have been slightly dearer than that, but yeah, Jean did reduce them, and you can still get the half price offer on them, which is crazy. So again, I'm using the London one just because I'm from London originally, so it'd be rude not to use it, wouldn't it? So yeah, I'm just going to stamp that in the corner there. And again, I'm going to sort of work in sort of opposite corners. I am going to add another one down here. I wasn't going to, but I will do. Yes, it is still available. So yeah, grab that price. Some of these stamps I did use last week, and they are at that price. I think the flowers I definitely used last week. What else was it? Well, I can't remember now. These postage marks I definitely used last week. I'll probably remember which ones as I'm using them. At the moment, I'm not sure. Right, so these ones are CI, I don't know if I said the number of that one. So that was CI 124, the postage marks. I'm now going in with this one, CI 542. And I'm just going to use this, this texture one. Now I'm not going to bother mounting this up. I'm literally just going to use it as it is. Some of these texture stamps, I just find it, you know, you don't need to mount them. You can just, you have a bit more control of where they're going. I'm using black, and I'm just sort of going for it. Just really randomly kind of stamping. Where else? I think maybe down here somewhere. Let's go about here. Some of this obviously isn't going to get seen because, you know, you will be covering it up with the circles. I've just received a box full of CI stamps. My little heart was smiling. Oh, have fun playing with them, Diane. You'll have to make sure you share what you make. They're at such a crazy price at the moment. I don't know why I'm putting that lid on yet because I'm not finished. Right, the script. I can't remember if this, I did use this one. I can't remember if this one is at a reduced price or not. I'm going to say not, just to kind of cover my back. But yeah, I mean, even if they're not at a reduced price, they still are half price. So it still makes them a silly, crazy price. And I'm just going to randomly stamp it. Again, I have got this on foam, but I'm not mounting it onto a block. I'm just sort of folding it in half, and I'm only inking up small sections of it and just sort of going in. This is actually a really lovely delicate font. I think very often I use the inky script, which I love, but this one is it's so fine and it's so delicate. I don't know if you hold that up, see if you can see it. Yes, that Harlequin stamp is so underrated, and it goes with most anything and gives great texture. Yes, do you know what? These kind of stamps, when I first started crafting, I actually thought, I'm not wasting my money getting like texture stamps like these. But I think gradually over the years and of crafting and stuff, you do actually really need them in your collection. You know, they make great like little fillers, and you know, if you've got an area, if you're somebody that likes getting messy and likes creating your own backgrounds and stuff, you need stamps like these. You know, you just have to have them in your collection. And yeah, they, like you say, they do go with absolutely everything. I mean, they'd go with the birds. I can't think what else there is now. You could use them for Christmas, you know, penguins. There's just so much you could use them for. If you just wanted like a diamond border around the edge, you could do that, because again, they're so easy to line up. These texture stamps are so important. They certainly are. I said, I always thought when I first started crafting, no, I'm not getting them. I'm not wasting my money on them. But yeah, as the years went on, you realise how important, just how important they are. You are right, Diane. Random is harder than you think. Sometimes it is, because it's knowing when to stop as well. But I think as long as you, with certain stamps, try to even everything out. So if you're working in one corner, try to do a similar thing in the other corner, just to kind of balance what you're doing. Yeah, I think that's quite important sometimes, the balancing of a card. Right, and now I'm going in with CI 543, and I'm just going to use these 2 rings here, like inky ring stains. I love these. So again, you could either mask that off. I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to kind of ink up those 2, and I'm just going to go for it and stamp them. And again, somewhere up here maybe. There we go. So again, I've sort of tried to balance it and worked corner to corner. Used CI 451 last week, inky borders. Yes, I did use them. I believe they are actually out of stock now. They would have been perfect actually for this. But yeah, they are out of stock. I think they are anyway. Hi Margaret. Texture stamps and sorry, I was just making sure I read everybody's thing. Right, I think that's now the background done. So I'm going to pop that to the side now, and I'm now going to start working on my 3 little circles. So I'm going to grab one of my blending brushes and my gathered twigs, and I'm just going to go around the edge and kind of distress the edge a little. Now for this, I'm not blending it in circles. I think with these brushes, I quite like the fact that you get like a bit of a stippled look. Is that the right word? Like, I don't know if you can see there, sort of, you can see the lines as you kind of flick it in, which I actually really like on some projects. I don't think you really get that so much with those nice soft brushes. That's the first circle, so I'm just going to do this on all 3 circles. It just kind of brings your eye into the center of the circle a little. There we go. I've got a nice inky splodge in that one, but it doesn't matter too much. Right, I'm now going to just use the VersaFine Clear and just drag the ink around the edge, just to darken it a little. And I'm going to do that on all circles. Just when you do this, make sure you don't smudge it, because obviously it's going on quite wet. Right, I'm now going to grab the flowers. Again, these ones I did use last week, so these ones possibly are on the cheaper price. So go grab them. And I'm just going to randomly grab some out. Let's start with Daisy. Where's that one? There we go. And where's my ink pad one? So I'm just going to randomly stamp some of these. Actually, I'm just going to pull some of them out. we've now got the planes going over in training. So I'll stamp that one on there. And I think we'll go for again on this one. Trying to remember to clean the stamps in between use, because I have a really bad habit of, when I'm working quickly, just sort of throwing them back in the pack. Let's see what else we've got. So I'm just pulling out some different ones that I'm going to be using. Now, I'm not too worried about stamping over the daisy here. I'm just kind of going for it, 'cause in a little while I will add some white highlight to the daisy, so you won't see those lines too much. I'm just sort of, again, kind of randomly stamping the different grasses. Let's do one of these on here, I think. Not sure who recommend Avon Skin So Soft for cleaning stamps, but it worked. I haven't heard of that. I just tend to use water. Well, on these ones, when I'm sort of stamping quick, I tend to end up just giving them a bit of a wipe and kind of throwing them to the side and then back in the packet. But yeah, I haven't heard of that one. Do I want that one? No, that's too similar to that other one. Right, let's go in with some of the leaves. I'm going with the solid leaves here. Ooh. I use water or alcohol-free baby wipes. Yeah, I tend to use, well, I have two different rags usually, one for wiping my mat with and then one for cleaning the stamps. One of the rags is actually one of my son's old t-shirts. And the other one is, I don't know, just a cloth. No idea where it's come from. I might go in with that little flower now. So I'm just stamping some of these little flowers. I'll do one on this one, it'll have to be half a flower. I use baby wipes all the time, but if they have ink on them, I use Skin So Soft. Yeah, I just tend to stick, I think, I was finding that I was getting through baby wipes so quickly, I just couldn't keep replacing them. So I converted onto the rags. Where do we want this? Let's go for about there. So I'm just stamping the little dragonfly now that's on this set. Do it on this one as well. Right, I'm just going to pop these back in that packet and grab a white pen, and I'm just going to add some white to that daisy. Could obviously colour the centre of it in. I wouldn't recommend, because I haven't embossed it, I obviously can't use alcohol markers. You could use a pencil though. If I remember to do that when I've got the pencils out, I'll quickly fill it in. And then if you did want to add some sort of little white highlights onto any of the other plants, you could do that as well. Sometimes I think adding that white really sort of finishes it off sometimes. You'll probably do it with a bit more care than I am though. Right, I'll leave it at that. I'm just going to clean that off. I love how you grew the little patch of flowers on each side. Right, it's so, I think the joy of those, oops, what have I lost? My brush. The joy of these sort of builder, I think it is actually called builder meadow, isn't it? That's it. You know, you can just stamp them exactly how you want them. Yeah, I think, you know, they are so much fun in that sense. Right, I'm now just going to work out where I want them on my piece of card. And then sort of stick them down. I think we'll go about there. And I'm using collage glue today. So just adding a bit of glue onto the back. And sticking them down. Just hold them down a little bit. The white makes such a difference. I think, yeah, white highlights are just a must, aren't they? They just really make things pop. Right, I'm now going to grab my pencils. You've seen me do this before, so I'm using my Spectrum Noirs for this. Actually, let's grab a yellow out really quickly. Let's go for like a goldy yellow, I think, and just do the centre of that daisy. If I don't do it now, I'll end up forgetting. So all I'm going to do, I said you've seen me do this before, I'm just going to draw around the edge of the circles. Actually, I need something hard behind it. Just going to put something, because I'm working on a rubber mat here, I don't want to go through the mat. So I'm just adding some shading around those circles again, just so that they don't get lost and you can see that they are sort of separate. You want to make them sort of pop off the card a little. So I actually really love doing this technique on quite a lot of things. I suppose really what you could do is make some masks, and if you didn't want to use pencils or you haven't got pencils, you could make some masks the same size as your circles, and use like distress ink. So you could, oh, my brush is there, so if you had another circle above it, you could just sort of flick out from behind it again, it just kind of lifts it up and add that darker tone sort of behind the circle. But yeah, I can't be bothered to create some masks, so and then you could use your little paper, is it a stint thing? just sort of blend that line a little, just so it doesn't look like pencil marks. Loving those colours. I would never have chosen them together, but they are great. Do you know what I think sometimes the most random, I think more so with the oxide inks than the distress inks, you can put some really random colours together and they just work. I have started a little, I'm not going to pull it out at the moment, but I've started doing little colour swatches. I have spoken about it before, where whenever I've seen like people use certain colours together, I make up a little swatch, you know, if I really like them. I'm trying to do them like ATC size, so sort of what's that, 2.5 by 3.5, is that about right? So that they fit inside an ATC wallet, and then you can kind of just flick through. And it's so nice to sort of think, oh, you know, I'm going to make a card, what colours can I use? You know, if you're not, you know, if you're not sure what colours to work with, sometimes it's just nice, like picking out colours like, oh yeah, that would really work with this image, and just use them. I said I haven't finished doing it yet. I've got a long list of different colour combos and swatches to kind of make up that I haven't yet done. Right, I'm now going to grab my anti-static and just go over this. And I'm going to grab that gorgeous Dragonfly. Now, I absolutely love this image. It's so gorgeous. I love dragonflies, so yeah, I had to love this one, didn't I? I'm a bit obsessed with dragonflies, and I think the best bit is when we moved here, certainly last year, our garden was full of dragonflies. It was so lovely, and I even had one stuck in the conservatory at one point, so I had to rescue it. I was absolutely thrilled. But yeah, I absolutely love them, and this stamp is so gorgeous. The detail in it is just incredible. So this is 033. Now you'll have noticed anti-static. So this is an anti-static bag. I think it's got like talcum powder type stuff in it. They're quite cheap to buy, or I think you can make your own. I can't remember what's advised to put it in when you make your own. But yeah, it's basically filled with like a talc type powder, and it's to stop your embossing powder from sticking in areas you don't want it. So because obviously on here I've worked with different inks and everything else, parts of it might still be wet. So I've just gone over it in hope that the black powder doesn't stick to it. So yeah, the dragonflies that I cut out, I didn't cut their legs out. That was way too fiddly, because obviously it is quite a small little dragonfly. Look how inky my fingers are, goodness me. Yeah, it's quite a small dragonfly, so it would have been ridiculously, you know, I would never have managed to cut them out. But what I am going to do is stamp them down. So I'm going by what I've done on this one, just to figure out roughly where I want them, because I quite like that. But I'm going to emboss them in black because I want them to really pop out. Yeah, I'm going to use black embossing powder. I'm not going to emboss the whole dragonfly. I only really need the legs. So I'm going to ink that up with the VersaFine again, and I'll go about there, I think. Now, because you're also stamping over the circles, just make sure you push in quite hard, as long as you haven't got any black ink around the edges of the stamp, of course. And I think about here. Obviously some of them you're not going to see properly because they are over the pattern, but I'm not too worried. And I think we'll have that one going straight up. About there. Right, I'm just grabbing some paper now. And this is the Wow Black embossing powder, but no, it's not. This is actually, I've stuck a Stampendous thing on here, so it must be that. Yeah, so it must be a Stampendous Black. So I'm just popping it over the legs. I said I don't need to put it all over the body, just the legs. I mean, you could do the whole thing if you really wanted, but there's not really any need to, because you're not going to see it. It's going to be covered up. But also, there's another reason I'm not doing the whole Dragonfly, because I've already stuck these circles on. Very often when you start sticking stuff and then heat emboss over it, it can ripple all your card. This is why I used collage glue, because it's quite a wet glue, so if it dries while I'm heat embossing it, it doesn't matter too much. So as I'm going to do it, I'm going to try and do it slightly away from the circles that I've stuck down. Face it this way towards me. Actually embossed really quickly today. So yeah. Right, I think I might stick this onto my main card now, because I'm going to raise all the wings and everything. Do you know what? I'm just going to clean my fingers first, because I just know that I'm going to end up with ink everywhere. So I've got my card blank here. This is a 5x7 card blank. Use my bone folder just to crease it. Right, and again, I'm just going to stick this down. I'm not going to bother mounting this. I try and avoid mounting cards if I can, just because obviously if you're posting them out, it sort of saves on, keeps the weight and everything down, doesn't it? I'm just kind of creasing that the other way, because obviously where I've heated it up and done a lot of wet work on the card, it sort of buckled a little. Right, the dragonflies. I did stamp and emboss these in clear. Just going to colour the body in. I'm going for a petrol blue here. I think actually if they're that bright blue colour, I think they're actually damselflies, aren't they? I don't think they're actually dragonflies. But obviously you can colour them bodies whatever colour you like. And rather than leave the wings white, I'm going to add some, what colour is this? Meadow green to the wings. Just because I think the background's quite green. And it then just, you know, the colour doesn't sort of stand out. The white doesn't stand out too much on the card. And the last one. There we go. I think I might finish the wings off with a bit of the shimmer Again, you've seen me use this stuff before. This is the iridescent medium. And we'll find a brush. Let's go with that one. No, let's not go with that one. I obviously haven't cleaned that one properly. It's a bit hard. Let's go with this one. And I'm just going to pick a bit of this up on the lid and just paint it over the wings. So this is the Winsor & Newton iridescent medium. I do love this stuff. I've used it quite a lot, I think, recently. Just add some more water on. I don't think you're going to see the shimmer on these very well on the camera. I'll hold it up. I think it just looks wet more than anything at the moment. But it does just leave a really nice sort of subtle shimmer. Pop the lid on there. I'm just going to dry them off. Ooh, knocking everything over. Right, and I'm going to grab my, oh, what's it called? Silicone pin flare glue. Right, I'm going to curl the wings slightly. No, that's too big. What should we use? Smaller paintbrush. So I'm just going to curl the wings over a paintbrush. And then hopefully this isn't clogged. Where's my pokey tool? I did test it out a little while ago, but I think where it's so warm in here, I don't think it's going to have it. Oh, might get a little bit out if we're lucky. No, I don't think this is going to be, I'm going to be able to do it. Sorry, I'm just seeing if I can unclog it at all. I think there's a bit of a blockage a bit further down now. Right, let me just see if I can find the tube of glue. There it is. Now this is all clogged up as well because I haven't been to this for a while. I might have to maybe stick this down after the live. Just trying to see if I can unclog it. It's been so long since I've filled that up and been to this. Are we going to get any out? No. This is one thing I don't like with pin flare. It really does clog up. No, it's not having any of it. Try this one more time. It's really frustrating. Just using my pokey tool down the other end to see if I can unclog it at all. Right, let's try now. Right, there we go. I'm just going to add a very, very thin layer to the body and a little tiny amount to the end of the wings. And I'm just sticking that down. I'm just raising the wings ever so slightly. They are a pain when they clog up. Oh, they certainly are. I think because I haven't used it for so long, it obviously needs a bit of attention. Yeah, no, it's not having it. I think it's clogged again. I've had it in there for way too long. No, I think I'm going to have to stick these down after the live because it's just going to take a ridiculous amount of time to unclog it, I think. And you definitely don't need to see me doing that. So I'll just lay it on there just so you get an idea of what it's going to look like. And as I said, I'll stick them down once I've managed to unclog that. But yeah, so that's the finished card. Well, kind of, almost finished. But yeah, so don't forget, all the stamps are on offer. They are half price. Some of them are even cheaper than that because they were reduced. And you can still get the half price offer on them. So do go and grab yourself a bargain. The code is half price at checkout. Oh yeah, I was going to stick that on. I forgot about that. Let's just stick that sentiment on. So this was off the little mini sentiments. It is out of stock, so I'm not going to bother telling, well, I can tell you the number actually if I can find it quickly. Stick it about there, I think. So I've just stamped that onto black card and embossed with white embossing powder. And snipped it out. It's not even cut out straight. So that is off of CI 605, but I said these ones are sold out, so you won't be able to get them. As a crafter, I swear you spend 50% of your time unclogging glue. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, looking for things. You've certainly been doing a lot of that lately. Mum's lost a few bits, so she's been hunting her craft room for them. Yeah, you absolutely do. Thanks for a great live, Dina. Lovely card. Oh, thank you. Thank you all for joining me. Yeah, I don't know what's happening next week, but I'm sure we'll be popping a post up. That's so true, Ginny. Honestly, it really is. I expect it's going to take me about an hour to unclog that and get that all sorted. But yeah, anyway, we'll deal with that later. But yeah, thank you all for joining me. As I said, the code is half price at the checkout. So grab yourself a bargain. There are actually a few really lovely stamps on there. I'm going to try and sneak in this week a couple of extra YouTube videos using some CI products that are still in stock. So as soon as I've done them, I will put a link up on the Crafty Individuals Facebook group. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I will do that other one, this one here, as a YouTube demo. But yeah, thank you all for joining me, and yeah, take care everyone. Enjoy the rest of the week. Bye.